My dear brothers and sisters, have something to show you from the front page of the Wall Street Journal a week or so ago. Inflation hits 40-year high, reaching 8.5%. So what this tells us is that the Federal Reserve has created trillions of dollars out of thin air. And this has led to an enormous stock market bubble and a housing bubble. Consider also the two COVID stimulus bills passed by Congress in 2020 and 2021. These pumped more than $5 trillion into the economy in the form of payments to government, payments to households, unemployment benefits, employer payroll loans, cash subsidies to airlines and countless other industries, and a host of grab bag items that had nothing whatever to do with COVID. This new money was pumped into the economy. Is it any wonder that inflation is beginning to soar? Yes, we hear that the Fed is going to inch up interest rates, but this is, but they're thinking of doing this at the rate of 0.25% or so every couple months. This is not going. This will have little or no effect. Inflation is going to be worse this year than it was in the previous year. Even 1 or 2% rate increase is not going to do it. If they do raise it to what it will take, we will have a massive recession, a crash in the stock market, and a crash in the real estate market. Back in 1980, Paul Volcker, a no-nonsense Fed chairman, went to war against inflation in a big way with raising interest rates to 20%. But that would cause a catastrophe because the level of debt is now so much higher. After all, we are the largest debtor nation in all of human history. A rise in interest rates would be a catastrophe. The Fed is trapped, their hands are tied, there is little or nothing that they can do. Now, hourly wages for employees went up 6.7% in March. That sounds great until you factor in inflation. Because with inflation at 8.5%, the difference between the rise in prices and the rise in wages comes to nearly 2%. The bigger paychecks aren't even beginning to cover rising prices. And it's no wonder that people are running up their credit cards at a blistering rate. Consumer debt is increasing at the fastest it has in the last 20 years. Real incomes are collapsing. So what are we going to do in the face of the impending market crash? A crash in the stock market, a crash in the housing market, which is going to lead lead with certainty to a chain reaction of bankruptcies and closing of businesses everywhere, especially small businesses, the lifeblood of our economy. What are we going to do? We're going to be planting. We're going to be planting a garden right now, a garden for midsummer and early autumn. Yes, that's right. We're always a couple months ahead of time. So here we go. We'll start with lettuce. We'll start with a magnificent lettuce which will work anywhere throughout the US of A. It's a magnificent romaine, and it's called winter density. You'll easily find it online. Winter density, you just can't go wrong. Magnificent romaine lettuce, and it won't bolt. It won't turn bitter, even in the strong sun of midsummer. Then we're going to do a beautiful lettuce called bronze arrowhead. It's just gorgeous, and I got this from the Seed Savers Exchange. Wonderful people who work so zealously in preserving our American heritage in magnificent varieties of seeds. Then we can't go wrong with Grandpa Admare's lettuce, another heirloom variety, which I got from Seed Savers Exchange. So Grandpa Admare, here we go. Here we go, Grandpa Admare. Let's do another grandpa, if you will. Grandpa Admire. Okay. Then after lettuce, it's inevitable that we're going to be planting kale. Kale is one of the most nutritious of vegetables. It's too easy to grow, and we're going to be planting an heirloom variety called green peas kale. So here we go, green peas kale. And then we're going to be planting also an heirloom variety called lark's tongue kale. I had to buy this just for the name alone, lark's tongue kale. And then why not 1,000-headed kale? Look at the size. Can you make that out? Look at the size of those leaves. Well over. Can you imagine a kale leaf several feet long? But that's what this is. 1,000-headed kale. Thousand-headed kale, right? And how about some tomatoes? This is a rare variety of tomato called a lychee tomato, and I got this from the Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company. Wonderful people. They deserve your patronage and support. So, lychee tomato. And then I simply had to buy this Bragg's Atomic grape tomato. Look at the rainbow of colors ranging from golds to purples. Simply had to buy this, could not resist. So, Bragg's grapefruit, Bragg's atomic grape tomato. Sweetheart cherry tomato, once again with a name like that, how could I resist? What goes with tomato? What goes with tomatoes? But basil, of course. Here's a basil from Africa called Africa Nunum. I hope I'm pronouncing it somewhere in the ballpark. A basil from Africa, and this is also from the Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company. Then miner's lettuce. This is this is a magnificent salad green. It's a wild plant here in California, and they say that the California Gold Rush people who came here used this magnificent green as a salad, and actually it is utterly delicious. They could not have done better. So, California miner's lettuce. Then a Mizuna. A Mizuna is a kind of a mustard. This is a Japanese mustard. It should grow profusely here in our California climate. Japanese mustard. And then I wanted to plant some beets. This is a Chioggia beet. Isn't that? You have circles of white and cherry red. Could anything be more gorgeous? It also makes wonderful greens. So Chioggia beet. And then we have to do some edible flowers, so why not calendula? Imagine these flowers tossed into your salad. Calendula. And finally, a spinach, Olympia spinach. Great name for a spinach. The Olympia Peninsula is one of the wonders of the world, a gorgeous mass of forest and wilderness. So, then we cannot resist another basil, but of course, this is a lettuce leaf basil. And then let's end with a Chinese pink celery. Isn't that a gorgeous image? And of course, leek goes back to earliest times, was cultivated by the very first farmers, goes way, way back in human history, and it is a delicious vegetable. So we'll finish up with leeks. And let us dedicate, brothers and sisters, let us dedicate this planting to this America, with its deliriums, with its hysteria, to this America where the third leading cause of deaths, 250,000 deaths last year, are attributed to medical error. Let's dedicate this planting to this America where 42% of the population are obese. Think about that. Are obese. And they say in a few more years, a majority of the population will be obese. I can't imagine anything more tragic. And of that 42%, 15 million Americans, 15 million are morbidly obese. This is so tragic. And then I want to say also, brothers and sisters, I want to dedicate this planting to confused teenagers everywhere. There is a rash of suicides among young people. This is another American tragedy. We have got to go forward. We have got to show them a way. We have got to show them what we have discovered. You who have delighted in the aliveness of the foods you have eaten, have got to bring out that discovery to the world out there and enliven our friendships, enliven our relationships, enliven our communities. We've got to take the discovery of aliveness and of life force and bring it out there to every asset, to every facet of our beings. We can do it. We can bring back aliveness into all of our relationships, into all of our doings with other human beings. We can do it, brothers and sisters, and we shall. Abraham Lincoln called for a new birth of freedom. He prophesied it. It will happen. Let us go forward. Your comments, criticisms, and suggestions are treasured by us. They're invaluable. Thank you so much.